Hey, welcome back to the streamlined version of our Sunken City Achievement Hunter series on the front lines of providing quick, efficient, and at times wacky ways to immolate all the gameplay achievements. Today, we're gonna topple the mini set achievements. Let's get into it.
This should be interesting.
We're introducing one standard and one wild deck per achievement. And if you're looking to shatter a specific achievement, this video's description and comments contain timestamps and deck codes for each achievement covered in today's guide. Now, let's go ahead and begin disarming all of these mini set achievements. First up, let's topple the Demon Hunter achievement. Dealing 70 damage with a single Topple the Idol isn't too tough if there's a fair number of minions on board, and if you've shuffled Colossals onto the bottom with Ambassador Phelan. Battle-Worn Vanguard and Wings of Hate can help fill your side in Standard, or you could just flood the entire board with Mad Summoner in Wild. We also tested Mark McKay's Giant Topple deck for Wild, but the Mad Summoner version proved much more consistent, as long as you don't glide after playing Ambassador Phelan. Best of luck toppling the Azsharan Idol. There are quite a few ways to do lots of damage with Moonbeam, including spell damage from Talented Arcanist and extra copies of it from Queen Ashara's Ring of Tides. However, we decided to go with Guild Traders and Azure Drakes in a Kazakusan Ramp Druid for Standard. And in Wild, a Germinated Malagos or two help Moonbeams burn through almost any opponent. It won't take a blue moon for you to knock this one out twice over. Have fun with it. There are a few grindy achievements in this mini set, and this one is the second worst of the set, since you must have a lot of 1-drops in the deck, or shuffle a few back into the deck once you've thinned it out. And then you just get 1 or 2 points of progress. Devouring Swarm, Bran, and Zola all open the door for extra progress, and Dire Frenzy alongside Sphere of Sapience improve dredge consistency, but it's still quite a long journey. We tried a Marsh Queen Quest Hunter with tons of 1-drop, and Ursatron to tutor Caninotron, and it was sort of fun. But we tend to avoid recommending decks which had a 100% loss rate across 8 games, and only provided 9 or 10 progress towards the achievement. It's a long one, but if you push through, in the end you can pet the dog. Good luck. If you have Lady Naz'jar, this achievement is simple to complete with any deck running Fire, Frost, and Arcane spells. Since you don't have to do it all in the same game, you could even make a unique deck for each one of the spell schools in the achievement if you want. If you don't have her, you can discover copies of her from Amalgam of the Deep. Spitelash Siren's nerf probably hurt Nagamage quite a lot, but the archetype still felt like the best fit for her in Standard, so we kept the same list. Though any deck running her with the various spell schools will work. Enjoy getting achievement progress by just tossing Lady Naz'jar into your deck and controlling what she evolves into. Frontlines is pretty expensive at 9 mana, so you might think this one will take quite a while, but it goes surprisingly quickly. You could toss a bunch of cheap minions into a deck with Prismatic Lens and Frontlines, but it's way too much fun to flood the board with a ton of massive minions all at once. In Standard, you can cheat out Frontlines a little faster if you dump the low-cost spells from your hand and play Barbaric Sorceress. And in Wild, Nosdormu the Timeless will frequently let you play Frontlines around turn 5. Both decks took a hit with Cariel's nerf, but she's still too good not to include. So although the board's maximum occupancy is only 14, that adds up to 100 for this achievement very quickly. Have fun flooding the board. Depending on the types of opponents you're facing, the Priest achievement can go rather quickly or quite slowly. There were several test games where I had no choice but to reduce the cost of opponents' cards with Disarming Elemental. Not ideal for swift progress. In Standard, there's not really a way to speed this one up unless you want Zola and Brewmasters working overtime. But in Wild, extra copies from Seance and Raise Dead, should you choose to run it, can accelerate this one quite a bit. Though if games are over quickly, you can just lather, rinse, and repeat until this achievement is done. 2 pair. Play Jackpot a few times and you'll be done with this. Do you need to use Togwaggle Scheme on Educated Elic, remembering Jackpot to keep generating additional jackpots to play, opening the door for Tess to summon a symphony of high-cost spells which put even Shudderwalk to shame? No. But it's fun to build your own personalized Yogg-Saron. Have fun winning the jackpot at least 3 times. Who could possibly have guessed that cheating extra Murlocs out for cheap is strong? Is Clownfish the main reason Murloc Shaman skyrocketed into nearly tier 1? Pretty much, yeah. But Tidelost Burrower has been pulling its weight as well. There's really not much for us to say about this achievement other than the obvious. Running Tidelost Burrower in a deck with lots of Murlocs, and maybe including Zola, Youthful Brewmaster, and or Underbelly Angler in Wild for extra copies is generally the best way to knock this one out. Play a dozen or so games with Murloc Shaman, and what the Tide brought in will be a better rank on ladder. Good luck. Now for the Warlock achievement. At least for me, this was the most frustrating achievement from the mini set. Even if you play an Immolate on turn 3 with coin, unless your opponent is playing a super greedy control deck, it's rare you'll burn more than 2 cards with Immolate per game. And when an exceptionally timed Immolate does land, a fair number of opponents just concede on the spot. Neither deck we're recommending runs Coilfang Constrictor, which when played a couple turns in a row, could possibly be able to lock a lit card in the opponent's hand until it burns. But we eventually landed on decks which draw the opponent's attention to the other threats we're developing in hopes they'll have to focus on them instead of ensuring full value from burning cards. Eventually, you will finish this, but you might be tempted to start a fire in real life by the end. Best of luck resisting that urge. Honestly, giving your opponent a Colossal with Clash of Colossals feels so very wrong. But if you're looking for swift progress on Release the Kraken, it serves its purpose well enough. Though Ambassador Phelan feels much better. From the Depths and Shield Shatter did just get nerfed, but dredging and discounting Phelan's Colossals and even a weaker board clear were just too good to pass on including. Neptulon and Azimuth joining the Colossal pool does slow this achievement down a bit, but this is a great excuse to flood the board with Colossals turn after turn after turn. Have fun releasing the Kraken. There are currently 4 Herald Naga in the game, and any of them triggering their battlecry effects should get progress on this, though there have been rumors of an issue with the Herald of Shadow not giving progress. We chose to go with the Herald of Nature in Standard because Moonlit Guidance can get extra copies of her, and games with Beast Druid tend to finish quickly. A few extra copies of Herald of Light in Wild from Seance and Raise Dead will let you get a few extra Herald triggers per game while she keeps you alive long enough to get that extra progress and in the game with Kazakusan value. It'll take a fair number of games for Hearthstone to herald that the achievement is complete, but these decks were surprisingly fun. Good luck. Any sane opponent will kill Azummat's tentacles before killing Azummat itself if they have 6 or more minions on board. So you'll need to kill Azummat yourself to ensure progress. In Standard, that's easy enough in Rogue by playing Shatter Shambler on an earlier turn. The only other death rattle in the deck is Talon to draw Azummat more consistently. So either wait to play Shatter Shambler after him, or just ensure he doesn't come down between the Shambler and Azummat. If opponents aren't filling the board enough for you, you could head over to Wild and use Terror Guard Escapees to flood the opponent's side of the board, using Sack Pact, Ritual of Doom, Dark Pact, and or Grim Rally to kill the Terror Guards and Azummat. Azummat killing 6 minions at once with its effect looks really cool, so it's a great payoff to a well-played combo. Best of luck. And that's a wrap. If you found this helpful, drop a like. If we drown this video with likes, YouTube will realize that this guide is a jackpot for Achievement Hunter fanatics. We plan to ambush the mystery achievement once it comes out as well, so be sure to check back or subscribe so that future videos aren't submerged deep within your feed and get tide lost before you can watch them. As always, if you have any questions or suggestions, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy participating in experiments live, check out our stream at twitch.tv/SSAlchemist. We currently stream on Saturdays. And remember, you're awesome. Thank you for watching and have an awesome day.